Okay, we are going to jump right into our Zoho Mail training, going through the email client and the email hosting features of Zoho Mail. So first things first, I always like to explain to people where they can actually log into their account, and that is at zoho.com/mail. If for some reason you have an upgraded plan like Zoho Workplace, I think there's an additional login that you can do at workplace.zoho.com or something like that. But this will always get you into your email inbox. Then on top of that, they do have their own documentation. Zoho has their own documentation for Zoho Mail, of course. It's very well documented. So you may want to use that as a supplement to this video. If there's anything that this video missed that you need to know, just follow that link, and that should get you the details you need. So these are the things that we're going to be covering in our tutorial today. We're going to talk about importing contacts, adding contacts from within Zoho Mail. We're also going to talk about just obvious things like how to check your email, the search features within Zoho Mail, which are quite handy, sorting emails within folders, writing emails, and the different functions within the editor there, different features within sending emails, sharing versus forwarding emails. So we do have a couple power tools here with Zoho Mail that makes it easier within an organization to share an email rather than just forwarding. We'll talk about differences between Outlook and Gmail versus Zoho. We'll take a quick look at the other apps that Zoho offers, primarily the ones that are tied directly to Zoho Mail. We'll look at the settings briefly. I'll do my best to navigate through that. And we'll also talk about how you can make groups so that you can easily email the same group of people. And mostly what we're going to be concentrating on are the additional features and shortcuts and things like that you may not be aware of if you just hop in. And so most people are going to be pretty comfortable with the Zoho Mail interface. Right off the bat, it's very similar to other email clients like your Gmails, like your Outlooks. However, kind of getting to know all these additional features does take some time and takes a little bit of know-how. So without further ado, we will hop into a fresh Zoho Mail account of mine. And I just signed up for one of their free email addresses in order to do this tutorial. So if you were just starting out the first time, you'd get some screen like this, and it would ask you to kind of customize just a couple things. It wants to know my time zone, and for some reason the screen recording software is not letting me click the different time zones. So we're going to go ahead and skip that one, but normally that should pop up. And then you can have a theme, different color scheme going on right here. I always stick with the default, so I'm just going to keep going with that. And that is it, and we are all set. And now it's giving me a quick notification on how to use the calendar. We're going to get into that a little bit later, so we're going to close out of that. Now, I was in here earlier, so I did test out a couple things, so I do have a couple emails. So let's start out by talking about contacts, because it's likely that you're coming from another tool. So contacts are going to be right here. You can just add a contact by going and clicking this button right there. Pretty obvious. And I'm just going to add myself. And I think this is my other demo account on Gmail. White Hat 24. Oh yeah, it says it right there. whitehatmatt24@gmail.com. And we're going to save this guy. We've got some fake people in here. They're basically just me. So the other thing that you may want to do is import contacts. And that is also possible. We would want to go here to import. And then it's going to give us some options. And basically what you can do is you can download your contacts from Gmail or Outlook and then re-upload them. And that's what this option is for. And so you're going to want to export those as a CSV file, and then you're going to want to re-import them here. However, you can just make a direct connection between Gmail and Outlook, and then you can import your contacts that way as well. So that is basically how contacts works. Let's go on to checking emails. So if I'm here and I'm checking an email, it's going to look similar to a lot of email clients, where you're going to have a list of the different emails. You're going to have your different folders over on the left. A couple of unique things is that you do have this tabbed system, so you can have like the inbox open in one spot, and you can have like the search feature open in another spot. And so you're always opening these tabs, and you can have many different tabs open at the same time. And it's not too bad. It doesn't get too confusing because everything is kind of saved in the appropriate spot in the sidebar as well. So if you're working on a draft and you can't find the appropriate tab, you can just go back over to drafts and find it. It's really not a big deal. So this works well. Views, this is actually quite handy because I do flag a lot of my emails as important or follow up or something like that. And so if you're in the inbox and you get to views, then you can pick out your different flagged options and show only those. And that's really nice if you're planning on following up with emails and you do it all in a batch or something like that. So this is your general view. You know, you have the email over here to the right. Obviously, this is pretty standard stuff. Once you have a string going of emails, one thing that is kind of handy is to, if you're going to reply to an email, like let's say I wanted to reply to this string of emails, I would want to click on the right one before I hit reply, or before I hit reply right here. See how you can do it up there in the upper right, or you can do it down here. And the reason for that is that if you're in the string of emails, you can see how this one's kind of highlighted. So if I hit reply right now, it's going to reply to this first one and not the second one. So that can be a little bit tricky. Usually doesn't cause any problems. You just don't have the reference to the most recent email if you forget to do that. So I forget to do that all the time, but it's something to watch out for. Other than that, I think you should be pretty comfortable with this tool. One thing that is also nice is if you're in your sent folder and you're looking at emails and you're like, gee, I am really going to send approximately the same email to 5 different people. You have a couple options. You could create a template, but there's also this edit as new feature within Zoho Mail. And so you can just go to more actions, edit as new. And let's say that I had written this email and sent it that said, hey, Matt, would you like to meet on Friday for a bike ride? You could just go, hi, Bob, punch in your email address for Bob and then send away. So that is quite handy because it just saves you a little bit of time. And sometimes you don't want to create an entire template for something. You're just, it's just like a one-time event that you need to send roughly the same email to several people. That can be pretty sweet. Okay, so let's talk about the search feature since we're talking about checking our emails. So the search feature is really great. I do really like it. So generally what you do is you write like from or something like that, and then a colon, and then you type in the email address, let's say. So if I wanted to search for matt@mattcheeks.com, it'd be something like that. Then I hit enter, and then it displays all of them. It's also going to give me options. See how there are all these options right here? So I can just click on one of these. It contains bikes. And I've got a couple that came up with bikes. And you can do in the sent folder and search for, to Matt at Tritheos. There's a couple that I sent to matt@tritheos.com. And so you can really filter and sort and search pretty handily, and this feature can do you a lot of good with saving time. I mean, I will go back years and try to find an email that is still relevant, and I'll be able to do it with this feature. So it works pretty darn good, I would say. Um, let's talk about sorting emails. So you've got an inbox that's likely a lot larger than this one. And you probably want to put your emails into various categories or folders. So how you're going to do that is you can go with this plus button right here, and you can choose where to place your new folder. So let's say I want it to go under inbox, and I want it to be called events. Then it's going to create this folder under the inbox. You can see I already had a couple. And then I can just go and I can drag and drop under events, and now this email is out of the way and it's categorized. So I will create these for, different client folders, different like expense folders, maybe like a sales folder, things like that. And this comes in really handy just because you can move things around so quickly. It seems to be much faster than how this works in Google or Outlook. So I do like it for that reason. It is able to help me stay on top of the inbox quite a bit better than other tools. So that's how the categorization and the folder feature works. Oh my gosh, what's this? Testing Zoho Mail from 2025. Hi Matt, did you get this? Sending from the future. How did that happen? It says I got this email from the future. And it's from me. It's from matt@mattcheeks.com, but I was just talking to you in the tutorial right now. Huh. This is interesting. I wonder if this Matthew Sheeks I wonder if me from the future has figured out some advanced technology and is testing it out on the Matt from the present right now. Maybe we'll get into that a little bit later. But yeah, this is curious. I don't know how Matthew from the future did this, but we're gonna keep going, and as we keep going, maybe we're able to figure that out. So I have this guy in my inbox, and let's say this is going under Zoho, so I can just drag it. And yeah, that's a handy feature. Writing emails. Let's just talk about your normal writing of emails. Of course, it's just this big button right here. You could also do new notes, tasks, events, contacts, and bookmarks. We're going to just focus on the email for now. And I'm going to write back to myself. Okay, and so that was pretty basic text that I just did here, so we should probably go through the different features in the taskbar. So this would be to attach something. Obviously, you can, something like this comes up where 90% of the time you're just going to left click here and you're going to get the options from your desktop, and you can go from there. You can also choose from Zoho Docs. It looks like you may be able to connect other cloud services. I haven't done that yet. This would actually be a good idea. And Zoho has its own tool where you can attach documents from there. Okay, but most of the time you're going to be in here. Like I say, you're going to, there's some of my files right there. You're going to left click, or you can just drag and drop, but I'm a fan of clicking through. And getting my attachment that way and searching through the file folders. Here you can attach from Work Drive. Now, Work Drive is a more advanced version of a file manager, kind of for business purposes. So it has a lot of cool sharing tools and things like that. And it is also from Zoho. So if you have like their workplace plan, then you have access to this Work Drive tool. These should be all pretty self-explanatory: bold, italic, underline, strike through, font type of font size, font color, shading, left orientation, centered, justified, etc. Bulleting, indentation, all normal things that you'd see within an email client like this. This is how you would insert an image into the body of the email. So again, this would, if you click right here, it'll choose the image from your hard drive. And then you can choose small, best fit, original, fit to width. I usually just do best fit. Fit to width it'll fit the whole screen, the whole screen of the email, or this whole width from here to here. So depending on how large this is opened up, it'll just fit to that size. Then a link, that's pretty easy. We can turn this into a link right here. Just do my website. Templates. Now, I don't think I do have templates actually. I have some demo templates. This is where you can insert a template that you've already pre-created. And this can be really handy if you send out the same email over and over again. You're going to want to create some of these templates, and then you can be kind of doing minor customizations to your template, and then sending those out and saving yourself some time. This is where you'd insert your signature if you don't have it to automatically insert your signature every time. You can also add code, and you could edit the HTML that's already in there as code. And this is where the remove formatting is. So you do need to know about this additional options right here, and this would remove the formatting and get you back to the default font. I think Verdana and 10 is the default font, but I'm pretty sure you can go ahead and change that if you want to. So there is basically an overview of writing your emails. Probably pretty basic stuff for most people. What does this do? Oh, there's the plain text version. I'm not going to do that. No one cares about that. Let's look at sending the email. So of course you could hit send right here. You can also click send later. This is of course how I got the email to myself while I was recording this. I used the send later feature from another account with Zoho, my matt@mattcheeks.com account. And I set it for 15 minutes in the future or something, and then it came in. So this is really handy. What you can do is you can choose to send in 1 hour, 2 hour, 4 hours. You can pick morning or afternoon, or you can kind of customize it. So let's say I want to customize this for, looks like this is 5 minutes from now. So I'm going to customize this for, I don't know, a little bit further out in the future. Okay. And you do have to get used to a little bit more like the international look at things with the date. It's possible you can change that, but yeah, I've never really had an issue with that. So so we'll just keep rolling. So when you hit that send later feature, it goes into your outbox. And a couple of tricky things that I notice is that if you want to go ahead and edit this email, you have to click this pencil, so it'll show up and you'll just see, okay, here's what we're intending to send out. If you want to edit it, you got to hit the pencil, and then it's going to say editing a scheduled email. The schedule is paused and the draft is removed from the outbox and is now saved under drafts. Okay, so if I wanted to edit this, then I have to click send later again. So it's not going to necessarily remember the time I was going to send if I just hit the send button. This is going to send immediately, essentially is what happens. If I hit send later again, it is going to remember the time that I had initially chosen, and I can just keep that time or I can adapt it again. Okay, so now it's back in the outbox. It's ready to be sent. It gives me a little notification. And that is how send later works. Sharing versus forwarding an email. So I think this may only work with business accounts. I'm not 100% sure, and so that might not work with this demo. But if you have things in your inbox and you want to share it, you don't have to just forward your emails any longer. What you can do is you can hit this button that says that says share, and anyone that's in your organization, you can share the email, and it shows up. I think it shows up in your stream. So let me see. I don't know if I can just share it with myself. And this probably won't work, but we'll give it a shot. So normally, if you had other people within your organization in Zoho Mail, their names would pop up here, and then you can share it with them, and then you can avoid the endless forwarding of emails and then creating another version, and it kind of streamlines that, and it keeps that clutter away from all of the forwarding that can happen. Okay, I need to mention someone. And I don't have anybody, so it's probably not going to work. But that's where that is in case you need to use it in the future, so you can get a nice workflow going with your colleagues and be able to share emails with them, so you don't have to be doing forwards back and forth if someone needs to review your email or something. Differences from Outlook or Gmail. Let's talk about that. So you'll notice that we have these boxes: newsletter and notification. So this is more or less similar to social and promotions in Gmail, or in Outlook. I believe you have the focused inbox, and then you have other. Okay, so how does this work? So if you're in a fresh install of Zoho Mail and you go to settings, there is an option to turn this on. I think it's within notifications, if I'm not mistaken. Let's go fish around for that for a second. Email address. Smart filter. This is where it is. Smart filters. See, smart filters is enabled. We'll disable it and re-enable it. And what this is telling me is that smart filters automatically classify notifications and newsletters. You can rearrange the filters to change the way they are prioritized. I just leave this as the default, and what this does is Zoho will automatically know if an email looks like an email newsletter, or if it looks like a notification, like a login or something. And it is very handy for keeping things out of your inbox, and just kind of shoving them into the notification folder, and shoving all those pesky email marketing newsletters in your newsletter folder. So let's talk about sharing versus forwarding emails. So if you're in here and you have various emails in your inbox, I have all of one. There's this option to share right here or right here. And this isn't going to work super well in this demo account because I don't have other people in my organization. But if you have your branded email, it's like your name at your domain.com, and then there are other people that are in your Zoho account. If you click the share button, what this will do is all you'll have to do is mention someone. And if they're a user within your organization, their name can pop up here and you can share the email with them. And then I think it goes into their stream. And what this does is it prevents people from just forwarding emails that might need to be edited or might need to be reviewed. And you can just share them with people. And as long as you kind of get a workflow down for that, it'll remove a lot of clutter with having to forward back and forth over and over again. So that is a handy feature. It's a good power feature for the business users out there. So I like that. I use that a little bit. Let's talk about differences between Outlook and Gmail and Zoho Mail. So the primary difference is going to come about right here with this newsletter folder and this notification folder. Similar to how you have social and promotions in Gmail, you have newsletter and notification in Zoho. Similar to how you have the focused inbox and other in Outlook, you have newsletter and notification in Zoho. And this is a nice way of categorizing things. I don't get a lot of social emails to my my work inbox, so this designation works pretty well. And how I have this set up is this is a smart filter in Zoho. And so you do need to turn this on, but this will automatically detect if it's kind of like an email marketing newsletter, like it's sent from MailChimp or something like that, and it'll dump it into the newsletter folder. And then if it's like a login email or like a password reset email or something like that, it'll dump it into notification. So how you get there to turn it on is you go into your settings, and you've got all your options laid out here in categories. And you're going to want to find filters, and you're going to want to enable smart filters. So I'll disable it, and then I'll re-enable it. And it says smart filters automatically classify notifications and newsletters. You can rearrange the filters to change the way they are prioritized. Okay. So I just leave that at the default, and it does a pretty good job. So that's all you need to do there, and then that is going to clean up a lot of clutter in your inbox over time, and it's going to help you stay oriented on the emails that matter the most, which are going to land in your inbox. So that is the primary difference that I've noticed. Other than that, it's going to function a lot like Gmail or Outlook, just with the overall layout of the tool. Other applications, we can talk about that just for a little bit. So there are several handy different tools within Zoho Mail and within the overall Zoho suite. So ones that are tied directly into Zoho Mail that you'll want to know about. Primary one would be the calendar. And so if you want to create an event and send it from, let's say, your branded email account, you're going to want to do that from Zoho Calendar now. So if you have, my name at mydomain.com, something like that, like I have Matt at mattcheeks.com, I have Matt at tritheos.com. I have a few different email addresses, might have a lot. Don't need to talk about that. But if you want to use the calendar feature, so the invite comes from that branded email address, yeah, you're going to want to use Zoho Calendar now. So let's say I want to watch the movie Breaking Away. I'm going to stick with my cycling theme here. And I want to do that with Greg at lemondecycles.com. Let's just say Greg LeMond is actually at this address. I don't actually know if he is. and I can just send the invite from here, click save, and it'll go ahead and send away. But a lot of times you want to go to more options, and you get a few other little features that you can use. You'll notice this is very similar to like the Gmail calendar um, feel of things and the fields and all that. And you can add a URL. You can also choose to use their own video conferencing tool, which is what is it called again? Now I forget the name of it, but it's in here somewhere. Let's see here. No, it's not giving me the option for it. Okay. This is the different calendars you can use. Your URL for your screen sharing video conferencing tool would go here. And your invitees would go here. They will kind of auto populate if they're already in there as a contact, which is nice. And then once you hit save, it's going to ask you, whoops, hold on a second. It didn't quite go. This event occurred in the past. Well, that's my problem. Okay. So let's make one that's actually going to be in the future. So we'll do watch breaking away for tomorrow night. And then I'll hit save. And then it's going to give you these options right here. Send event invitation, attendees and myself, attendees only or none. Now, attendees and myself is a little bit redundant. What this means is that it's going to send an email invite to the attendees and to myself. Well, I already know about this event because I'm the one sending it, so usually you're not going to click this. You're probably going to want to do attendees only. Maybe in some circumstances you want to do none. For this tutorial, I'm going to do attendees and myself so you can see what the email looks like. I'm going to go ahead and confirm. Okay, it gave me a little notification, and an email should come up pretty quick. Okay, so this is what the invite's going to look like. Pretty similar stuff to like a Gmail or Outlook. And from there, you can choose, okay, am I attending? Yes, no, or maybe. Let's say I'm a yes. Okay, and then you're going to get something like this is going to show up. And it looks like if you're just a user, you can even customize your own reminders. So that's how Zoho Calendar works. Tends to be very helpful to have Zoho Calendar working in addition to Mail, so it's nice to know about that. They do have a lot of different apps, and so their whole thing is that you could just run your whole business just off of Zoho apps. Oh, Meeting, that's basically their Zoom equivalent. And so they have within the workplace, this is kind of like your replacement for Google, what are they calling it now? All the Google apps, basically. So this is your Google Drive replacement. This is your Google Sheets replacement, your Google Docs replacement. This is your like Slack replacement, essentially. This is obviously email, which we're in right now, and then this is I think I mentioned this already, this is like your Zoom replacement, and then this would be like PowerPoint or something along those lines. Then they have all these other tools, and they really started out with CRM, I think was one of their main things starting out, and they've kind of expanded into all these different tools that are very useful, and you probably have a subscription to a lot of these already. Like bookings, this would be like similar to like Calendly or something like that. PageSense is conversion rate optimization. That would be like Hotjar or Crazy Egg would be similar ones. This is a signing tool. There's so many signing tools out there. I couldn't even begin to name them all. CRM, this would be like similar to HubSpot, something like that. They do have an accounting tool. So anyway, they have all this different software, and if you want, I really do recommend, if you're starting out, you don't have subscriptions to like 50 different softwares already, just do Zoho for everything and you'll be a happy person. Usually still for websites. I don't use Zoho sites. I still use WordPress for that. But that is a much bigger task, getting your website up. For most of these other functions, yeah, Zoho does a really nice job with all of their apps. They're very intuitive, clean. The functionality is really good. And yeah, they're a great company to work with. So those are the other apps. Beyond that, something that may be handy to know about is where to find your signature. Signature is down here. You can add a new signature. You can just pop it into the editor that shows up here, or you can probably just copy paste an existing one too, and then save that. Let's see. And signature and replies is on. Okay, so it gives you the option to deal with that. One thing I also like to turn on is show BCC. So I like BCC to be enabled. I think you can go deeper into this as well, and you get even more granular options. So here's show BCC and compose. That's nice to have on. I like that because I'm always doing a lot of BCCs for various reasons. These two functions are important. The one that I really like to turn on is the undo send feature. And so if I'm writing an email and I send it really quick and I want to undo the send, this will allow me to do that. Okay, so you've written an email really hastily, hit the send button, and then you wish you could back out of it, but you can't. Well, now you can. And I will show you how to do that in just a second. So if we go to new email, and we're going to do, I'll just use one of my templates really quick here. I'll insert a template, and then I forgot to actually type in Mateus's name, and I just said hi name, and I'm going to embarrass myself by hitting send. Well, it's going to give me 8 seconds to hit the undo button. And then it says the sending was canceled and the draft is available for you to edit. So this has saved my bacon many, many times where I've been writing something up too quick. I realized I forgot something. I forgot the attachment. I forgot whatever it might be. And then I'm able to hit that undo button. So that's really nice to know about. I won't go through all the different settings, but I think I covered most of the ones that I think are really useful. Having the BCC in here is nice. And that undo send thing is really nice. Okay, let's talk about groups. So if you want to add a group of people, the best way to do that is within contacts. You're going to want to create a new category. So from here, I think I have some categories already. Maybe I just need to refresh this browser window. If you're not seeing a category you created, yeah, that's what I would recommend. I would recommend refreshing before you start pulling your hair out. So I had one that I created called Cycling Buddies, and I could do add category here. And let's say I have a business category. So I can just start grabbing people and dragging them in. And then I have this category, and this is my business category. Okay, so how do I email them? Well, you would go to back to mail, new mail, and you'd go to, and you could pick your categories from here. It didn't show up. I think I got to refresh again. Sometimes it's a little bit tricky between the contacts and the mail feature for some reason. So when in doubt, refresh if you think you did everything else right. So I'm going to go to contacts, personal, business, select all contacts, and then I'm going to insert them. And then I can email away with this group of mine that I've created. So that could be nice. You're not necessarily sending an email marketing newsletter with MailChimp or something like that. You just want to send out a personal email to a few people or several people. This works pretty good for that application. So that's how to create groups. And that more or less wraps up everything that I have to say about Zoho for purposes of a really quick tutorial. Feel free to peruse more on these taskbars and see if there's something that's valuable to you. If you have any questions, you can always drop me a message at matt@mattsheeks.com. And happy emailing.